If you're a real estate wholesaler or you've ever thought about getting into real estate wholesaling, or maybe you've been a wholesaler for a long time, I actually just interviewed a guy by the name of Jamil Damji. You've probably heard of him. He's built the number one, arguably, literally number one wholesale company in the nation. And I asked him a bunch of crazy questions, and there's a clip that I want to share with you. We talked about how he gets all of his deals, how he built the company as big as he was able to build the company, and a bunch of other crazy stuff. And I just want to share a little clip with you. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. Really, like when I had met you, is the simplicity of what you did, yet you did it so well. And I think that a lot of human beings, I don't know if they're just inefficient or if they're lazy or they don't know what they don't know.
I think a lot of people think they're working hard, but they're not working hard at the things that move the needle. Right? We spend a lot of, like, if you can sit down in the day, you're like, I'm working on my wholesale business. And then all of a sudden it's like.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm hungry. Let's get lunch. And it's like, wow, okay, bro, you did jack shit. And that's the thing, right, is that we're all gassing ourselves up, lying to ourselves about how much actual work we're doing. And this is something I say in the Astro community all the time, is like, you aren't working as hard as you think you're working. You're not doing nearly as much as you think you're doing. Until you start tracking your numbers, until you start actually counting the number of conversations that you're having every single day, until you start tracking your talk time, until you start tracking those metrics, you ain't got nothing.
Right.
And that's the piece. And I think as soon as people start getting it real with themselves about, oh, how much time did I spend today tinkering with my pen and organizing my desk and, you know, changing the way that my office looked, and then now thinking that I'm in my systems and working through my podio, like, instead of doing all the garbage work, do the work that moves the needle. Have the conversations that bring in the money. Yeah. Let's figure out how to clean this all up later. I want to earn a check first, and then we'll pay somebody to come clean it up. You know, so that's the difference. Is that I've always been very deliberate, bro. Like I think that's a part of being a lazy man, right? Is that I only want to do the thing that's going to actually get the job done, nothing else. Because that's my nature. My nature is I identify the thing that actually moves the needle, and then everything else around it I ignore.
Wow.
And I'm good at that.
It allows you to take action when other people are in inaction mode. They're studying, they're learning, they're reading, they're organizing their desk, whatever they're doing, like you're talking about, right? And you see that, and that's where I was going, is like in the beginning and really the ACK process now for you guys. I would imagine there's some complexity to it now, but really it's talk to people.
Yeah.
I mean, so whether that's Facebook or LinkedIn or call agents or call wholesalers or call freaking Craigslist or call the bandit sign on the side of the road. It's how many relationships can I build in a day? Am I good at building relationships? Can I provide value? Can I, like that really, in a nutshell, is what it is.
1000%. There's no secret, guys. There's like, that's the thing too. It's like everybody wants there to be this like magic button, or this, like, you say these 5 words and you'll hypnotize the person on the phone and they will give you their house. No, man. Like, there's nothing like that out there. Nothing like that exists. You want to know what it is? Be a human being. Find how to align with other people. Stop being combative. Figure out how you can help somebody. And guess what ends up happening on the other side? Money.
Yeah, and a lot of it. When you're not focused on it, when you focus on helping people, we just did a rebrand called One Roof. And all that was taking all the different companies that we did, the retail, the wholesale, the flipping, the et cetera, on a smaller level than you. But we do a lot of it. We've done 210 deals wholesale this year so far.
Incredible. Don't diminish your guys' success, bro. Like, you've really popped off, dude. Like, it's fantastic to see.
All we did was made it about the human being on the other end. That's all we did, right? I preach in every meeting, hey, we're here to serve, we're here to help, we're here to give, we're here to love. If you call that person and care, stop reading from a script. Read from a script if you can sound like you're not reading from a script, but otherwise throw the script in the trash can and call them and comment on the dog you hear barking in the background, or the TV or the Cardinals game or the whatever, and build a relationship with the human being. Figure out what they need, what they want, where they're trying to go, what they're trying to accomplish, what they're trying to do, and then solve their problem. And you'll make a ton of freaking money. And I preach it every day, right? And it's what I really learned it from you, and I learned it from Josiah, and I learned it from Hunter, right? I saw it day in and day out.
And I learned it from someone else too, right? Like none of us invent anything. That's the other piece, right? Like, we're all we're all regurgitating and learning from other folks. And so, I mean, you know, the bottom line is that when you become focused in that direction, things change.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because my relationship with Pace is a lot like that, right? Because, to bring him into the conversation, the time when Pace and I started to collaborate together was an interesting time because he had also had gone through a situation with an individual whose name I said earlier, but I won't say again. And that person had ripped him off for $1 million. And it was a terrible time for Pace. And he was trying to grow, or actually just get himself out of that really bad spot. And I'm there side by side with him, trying to help him. We're doing wholesale deals together. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, he's helping me a lot. Like, he's sending me a lot of people. And then all of a sudden I started seeing that people that were doing deals with me were starting to do deals with Pace. And I was like, oh, damn, I lost that deal. But then, I'm like, but he's giving me so much value too. And I'm watching that. And then there was a moment. I remember I called my wife, actually. I was driving down Scottsdale Road. And I called my wife and I'm like at a precipice right now where I have a decision to make. Is this relationship with this guy more important to me than losing a deal here or there? And I honestly, I love him so much. I think he's such a cool dude and he's such a good friend to me, and he's brought me so much value and he's given me so many relationships that done so much for me. I'm going to stop even paying attention to anything I'm losing, and all I'm going to do is love on him. Yeah. And the two of us, I mean, honestly, dude, that has been a thing in itself too. Yeah. KeyGlee has been incredible, but I think that what Pace and I have really done in the world as two competitors, because we're not on the same companies, right? Yeah. Everyone thinks that Pace and I are partners. It's hilarious, but we're not. We compete. Right. We compete for students. We compete for deals. We compete for everything, right? Eyeballs, attention, the whole thing. But we do it in a way that it's collaborative.
Yeah.
Right? And I love watching my brother win. I love it, and he loves watching me win. And it's funny, man. Like, we'll go and I'll make a key relationship and I'll run it back to the team, and he'll go make a key relationship and run it back to the team. Like, just recently, the other day, he threads me in on a text thread with DJ Envy and Caesar, and he's getting us on the Breakfast Club.
Wow.
And that's like, Pace could have just gone and done that on his own.
Yeah.
But does he? No, I'm his competition. What does he do? He loops me in on a conversation and we do it together.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the thing, bro. Like, that kind of love, that kind of camaraderie, and that type of heart that you see in folks, just to be able to live like that and to do things like that, that's special, man.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful. And I hope everybody watching this, like, go out there and find that person out there, that human being that you resonate with at such a deep level, whether or not you guys are competitors or whether or not you are on the same team. Whatever that is, find that person, find those people that really mean something to you, and then love on them without paying attention to the results, because that is really a key thing.
Collaboration over competition.
All the day,
and it's just the abundance mentality too. It's the moment you have an abundance mentality. Remember, how you do anything is how you do everything, as you know, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people live in scarcity, right? And it's
hard not to.
Yeah.
It's hard not to sometimes, because you're like, man, if I go do this and this person's going to get ahead, and then if this person gets ahead, and then I'm not going to get there, and then if I don't get there, this is going to happen to me. And we hallucinate all these terrible outcomes for ourselves just because we helped somebody? Mm-hmm. Do you think we live in that effed up of a world that doing something nice for somebody is going to make you homeless?
Crazy.
It's weird, though, but we'll actually put ourselves down that path of thinking.
Yeah.
And then what do we get out of that? Nothing. I think Paul Selig, who's a very interesting author that I love reading, and he says, the action of fear is to claim more fear.
Okay.
And so anytime that you're working and moving in fear, scarcity, lack, separation, the result is fear, scarcity, lack, and deeper separation.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah.
Though you never get another result from that action. And so, like, you've got to look at your intentions all the time. You've got to look at your intentions all the time and decide. Wake up and make a decision to set an intention to not live in fear today. Set an intention to live in abundance today, and then just move. When you set an intention and then just move, believe me, you will remember that you set that intention. The things that'll come and find you will give you opportunities to give, to be abundant, to live in that world, to remind you to keep the promise of the intention you made the moment you wake up. It's super important, the thing that you think of first thing in the morning, bro. I'm telling you, man. I used to wake up in the morning, and first thing I would do was pick up my phone. And then I would look at all the text messages that I had missed. And then I would look at all my emails. And then I would go to my social media, and I'd look at all the people who liked my posts. And then I'd go into all my DMs. And then at the end of that, like 30 minutes later, bro, I anxiety. Because I'm like, I'm behind already. And I'm still laying in bed. And then it's like, do I even have time to meditate?
Wow, that's powerful. What did you do? Was it as simple as just waking up, training yourself to wake up, not grab the phone, meditate? Give me the morning routine of Jamil Damji.
So I will wake up, and before I grab the phone, the first thing I do is I give thanks. And then the second thing I do in my mind is I set an intention for the day. And then the third thing that I do is I decide what type of day or what I am going to try to accomplish today. And then I just sit and breathe. I follow my breath. I imagine the oxygen coming into my body and replenishing my cells. I shake off cobwebs. I put attention on tension. You know, wherever I've got tension in my body, if I slept weird or whatever, I just put my attention on that, and I let that kind of loosen up, and I just get myself physically a little bit more nimble. And I pop up out of bed.
Wow.
And then I go and do the things. Then I grab my phone and I get back into my world. And then I let the avalanche of whatever's coming to me come. But just that first moment of, no, I'm going to take this very holy moment and I'm going to share it with my soul, with God. And I'm going to make my collaboration plans with myself and the Lord this moment, like right now, and then I'm gonna go off and let the world understand who the hell I am.
I love that. I think it's one of the most powerful things. You look at successful people, and there's typically one thing, two things that you can find in common with every. See, I've really never met anybody, a high achiever, that wasn't a morning person and that didn't, to some degree, and that didn't have a morning routine.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you just don't see it. I mean, you don't see people that just wake up at noon, grab their phone right out of the gate, and they go make $100 million.
I mean, some rappers do, but like that, you know.
Right.
But that's about it.
What are your goals?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If you want to be a rapper, then come to
I
your
mean, I
A&E.
guess, yeah, it's cool. You know, like some of that stuff, but it's not for me.
Right.
You know, I wouldn't be happy like that. I get so stir crazy. Like I can't be in bed longer than 6 hours.